Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With closed heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
What a treat for the young men. We're set to play this huge game. We talk about the NHL style experience. Did I just see, look at that on the ice. It's an octopus. Oh my goodness. They just had an octopus thrown onto the ice here, folks. Talk about bringing the tradition here to the West Edmonton Mall, all the way from Detroit.
Now here, I thought we only saw that happen in Detroit. Now it's traveled all the way to E-Town.
Octopus chucked on the ice.
Maybe we can have that for dinner later?
We'll see if that's an omen here. But we talked about the NHL experience. You have an NHL anthem singer here adding to the vibe. It's jam-packed in the Ice Palace at the West Edmonton Mall. It all comes down to this, not just this week of games, but months of preparation. Austin Miller gets the start for Detroit. 3-0, 1.67 goals against average, 8.89 save percentage in this tournament. They could have gone with either guy.
Yeah, really, Detroit's been loaded in the pipes. Carey went 4-0, Miller 3-0 throughout round-robin play. Both real solid.
Griffin St. Marie for the Toronto Bulldogs, 4-1, 2.37 goals against average, 8.75 save percentage. A 3-0 win yesterday over Toronto Pro Hockey. A huge victory for him, and he goes back.
And talking to the Lamakias prior to the game, we kind of asked him, well, are you going to go with Van Royen or are you going to go with St. Marie? And I think what maybe tilted the edge towards St. Marie was the fact that he was able to come up with that shutout yesterday, and maybe they're playing the hot hand.
And they noted they've seen him play some big games. His team won the city championship this year, so he's been there in clutch situations before. And we're off. Our two players to watch come to center ice to drop the puck for the championship game of the 2024 Brick Invitational. Jonathan Lee and Kaysen Pusateri. The Bulldogs in the yellow and blue. The Red Wings in the very familiar red and white. There hasn't been a Detroit Brick champion since 1994. That was not a Red Wings team per se, but still a Detroit representative. Hasn't won this in 30 years. Now the Bulldogs haven't won since 2018, but there's been 15 champions from Toronto, including 8 representing this Bulldogs program, as Lee skates it in and sends it around behind the net. And we'll see whether it's a dynasty being renewed or maybe a new one being built, as the Red Wings have been unstoppable at this event so far. And up to center ice they come, broken up by Eisen. Pass for Riley, scored a big goal for Toronto yesterday. Into Wamis, upended in the corner. And away now for the Red Wings. Christian Kalorik Their other top gun had 19 points compared to Pusateri's 20. And a shot by Beffrey doesn't get through. Chipped up the wall. Scadamburlo holds it in, and a little wrist shot. Let's take a look at that 1994 team, Adam. David Booth, former Detroit Red Wing. Drew Miller, of course, also a member of that 1994 team, and former Edmonton Oiler Corey Potter, a part of that team that won the Brick back in 1994 for Detroit.
Almost forgot about those guys. It's been so long. I mean, especially Potter being a Edmonton Oiler back in the day.
Couple of guys that played for Detroit here went on to be Red Wings. That's got to be a cool experience. And wonder if we'll see that happen for some of the guys on this Red Wing team.
And we're going to have our first penalty upcoming, and I believe it's going to go to the Bulldogs as the wing Scadamburlo had a stick chopped out of his hands.
And we talked about this. This is what the Bulldogs have to avoid, that very potent power play for the Red Wings.
And Malini's given a tap to number 94, although it looked like it was number 10. Abramidis that actually got the whack on the Scadamburlo stick, so they might be taking the wrong guy, but either way, it's going to be, you know, a Detroit power play here, and which they were very dangerous yesterday. 2 power play goals like we mentioned, and they're going to look to get this crowd sparked here early in this hockey game.
Comes out of the zone and a tumble by Hertzlieb. Hertzlieb, whose brother played in the tournament last year, but with Chicago, as discovered by our own Chris Colwell. Here's Pusateri. In with it on the power play, brought to you by Westland Insurance. Coverage that goes further. Hertzlieb shooting. Good save made by St. Marie. Pusateri. Hertzlieb. Pusateri moves it down low. Centering feed by Kaloric doesn't get through.
You heard Jimmy Howard talking about that low play. Let's watch for that again here on the power play today. And if Toronto pre-scouted, Lamakias did say that they watched the video of their game yesterday, so we'll see what happens here.
Quick shot across, scored! Christian Kaloric taps it in! You can't take penalties against these Red Wings. 1-0 Detroit.
And it was almost a carbon copy of that goal yesterday that tied up the game. Pusateri backdoor to Bondy, and then Bondy ends up surprising everyone and finding Kalaric on the back post right there as his stick was ready on the ice. And all he had to do was just tap that puck home, and Kalaric on the board for Detroit. It's 1-0, and you couldn't have scripted it better for Detroit early on here.
Now, you talked about those down low plays. When Jimmy Howard called his timeout yesterday in the tied game against Boston, he said, guys, the plays down low are there for you. You got to take them. That's exactly what they did. A little give and go play resulted in a Pusateri goal and the win against Boston. Another nice play down low on the power play, resulting in a 1-0 lead for the Red Wings in the championship game.
I overheard somebody that was down here saying, I think Pusateri's going to have 5 points today. Well, he's already got 1. And again, Bonnie right in that same spot that Pusateri found him yesterday on the tying goal, or what was the tying goal against Boston, right at the bottom of the circle, found the seam, and then Pusateri found Kalaric back post. 1-0 Wings.
Play to Oni, holds it in. Shot off the side of the goal. Junior Red Wings pull ahead on the man advantage. And here's Kenny trying to respond, leading 3 Bulldogs on the rush. Kenny centering it. Doesn't connect with Jonathan Lee. And here's Pusateri. Forced in behind the Bulldog net. Trying to grab that one for Detroit. This Kilunen. Knocked behind the net. Chen's on it. Chen 6 points from the blue line for the Bulldogs in this event through their 8 games. As that's going to be called an icing against the Red Wings. Let's take a look at the first ever Toronto Bulldogs champions. Ryan Strome in 2003. Evan Rodriguez, a recent Stanley Cup winner. Frankie Corrado of TSN. And Dougie Hamilton some big names a part of that Bulldogs team back in 2003. That was the first ever of the 8 champions they've had here at the Brick.
Some pretty good names on that list from Toronto, and old Frankie Coronado, he's now TSN analyst. He'd be loving this. Hopefully get some TSN coverage from this game.
Here's Wamas back into his own zone. And you look at the careers some of those guys have gone on to have. I mean, Rodriguez just winning the Stanley Cup.
Hey, you don't need to bring that up again, all right?
I know.
No offense, Evan. No offense.
Ryan Strome, a great run. Dougie Hamilton, one of the best defensemen in the world. All started as members of these Toronto Bulldogs and Brick champions 21 years ago.
And you can see why they're the prestigious club they are.
Kaloric takes a shot there, and a good save made by St. Marie as he looks for his second. And with all the hype around Pusateri and Fair, you know, Kaloric's got as many points but one. He's been a consistent producer for this team.
Yeah, Kaloric had a goal and 2 yesterday, so not to take anything away from him. He's been right there with Pusateri as Pusateri 20 points coming into this game, Kaloric 19.
As that shot wide of the Toronto goal. Moved out to the neutral zone. Followed up by Mashinter. Oh, and a little bit of a tie-up there. Avramidis coming close to a hold. Here's Pusateri. In for Detroit. Broken up at the line. Here's Bucci. Now Bucci for the Bulldogs. 5 points in the tournament. Mashinter is shot. And it looks like a penalty now to the Red Wings. And the Bulldogs will get to utilize their man advantage, which went 3 for 13 in the tournament.
We're going to have to watch for that one.
Pusateri going off.
Pusateri's going off, and I don't know if that was off the back check or if it was right here.
There's the trip.
Right there, yeah. Chopped the feet of one of the Bulldogs out, and that will put Toronto onto their first man advantage. Detroit 1 for 1 already. This would be a great response for the boys in yellow with the blue and white trim. They can even things up here.
Got to be careful usually against Detroit, though. They do put pressure on shorthanded. Here's Kaloric trying to do just that. Puts it towards the goal, and that's covered up by St. Marie.
St. Marie's shutout streak there. Obviously it carried into this one, but was snapped relatively early by this high-flying Red Wings offense. We talked about Beffrey wearing number 96 and being a young Thomas Holmstrom. Pusateri's not wearing number 19, so he can't be Stevie Y out there, but I mean, 49's a very unique number, yeah.
Actually, I can't think of any 49s that pop off into the head.
We might need Chris to dig up some stats and some numbers for us.
Maybe making a legacy of his own with that number. As it's skated up ice here again by the Red Wings penalty kill. Kaloric, who opened the scoring, will send that behind the net. Picked up there by Muskie for the Bulldogs. They've got 1:09 left in their man advantage. Eisen kicks that up to his stick. Offside on the entry for Eisen, who's been a consistent producer for the Bulldogs with 6 points.
And you can see both teams. Toronto trying to obviously get their power play unit organized here as they couldn't quite get in on that entry. They typically run that double swing power play breakout, and they have motion going through the neutral zone on that last attempt. It was offside.
Again, as mentioned, these teams played twice in a tournament in Pittsburgh. Both games high scoring, 5-4 and 6-5, but both in favor of the Red Wings. They played once here at this event, a 4-1 Detroit win in the final game of the round robin. As that shot wide of the goal. Sent back across the front. Picked up by Marie and sent deep for Wamas. Had a goal yesterday. Trying to go back to the line with it. Blocked, though, by Detroit's Kilunen, who clears that the length of the ice. And we'll get maybe one last rush from the Bulldogs. 10 seconds to go on their power play.
And there you see the double swing with these two in motion here in the neutral zone. And now they got lots of ice to gain the zone and gain entry.
Abramedes in with it for the Bulldogs. Goes back to McGillis, has some room, shoots, scored! Off a Detroit glove, and the game is tied right at the end of the Bulldog power play. It's Liam McGillis.
And McGillis, just as we were talking about, you'll see it on the replay here. It's going to start with the double swing breakout coming out of their own end. Toronto was able to kick it out to one of their swingmen, and then they hit the man in motion, which was Abramedes. And then he sauces one back to McGillis at the right point, and the shot, I believe, is knocked down by the glove of Oni, right in front of his own net, right?
Even further higher,
yeah, it might have been higher, actually. You might be right. We can't really see it on that view from behind the net, but it catches a piece of one of the Red Wing penalty killers and ends up bouncing past Miller, and we're all knotted up at one.
From my vantage point, it looked like he was trying to block it with his hand, but didn't catch enough of it. Ends up deflecting it down as Pusateri tries to respond. His shot stopped. I don't know if it'll end up being a power play goal. It was right at the end. Not a power play goal. Pusateri had come out of the box, but had not got back into the play yet. So either way, the extra man successful for both teams as they each strike on their first power plays. The Red Wings an official power play goal. The Bulldogs just as theirs was expiring. The attempted block ends up deflecting into the Red Wing goal as Chen gets very physical there. On the entry by Kilunen. Wings have the puck. Skated up by Hartley, passed it for Kilunen, slid it behind the net. Hartley pinches in to grab that. Defender in deep here as Chen breaks that up, side of the goal. For Liam Kenny. 15 points for Kenny in the tournament. And that's turned over. Kalorek trying to get to center. Got rubbed off the puck by the Bulldogs.
Boy, Jimmy Howard wanted a penalty there. He was absolutely lacing into the backside official for that body check thrown right in front of the penalty box.
In with it now, Beffrey offside, and we'll get a neutral zone draw with 5:21 to go. 3 15-minute periods and full intermissions for the championship game.
And so you see McGillis, he kicks the puck out to the first swing man, which was Bucci. Bucci moved it to Abramedes through the neutral zone, and then Abramedes delays, hits McGillis, and right there, it was the Detroit player that came across the screen.
Denton got it.
And, Denton, yes, that caught a piece of that with his glove, and that's why it changed direction on Miller, and that's why it ends up going posted in, and we're tied at 1. Detroit favoring the shot count at 7-2 with 5:10 to go.
Puck centered and deflects to the corner. Back to the line for the Bulldogs. A chance here for Marie, shot it wide. Roque holds it in. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first. 1-1 game between the Bulldogs and the Red Wings. Picked up and skated in by Kalorek. He'll go into the slot. Tries a tough angle shot and a tough save for St. Marie. Bondi passed it over and wristed wide by Beffrey, who was frustrated right after he let it go. Bondi at the line, shooting, looking for a redirection from Kalorek in front. Comes behind the net, Beffrey's there. Beffrey for the Wings, nice spin move, keeps the play going. Down for Caesar, broken up by Eisen, covering the front of the net well. And away now for the Bulldogs. Riley a long shot, who will get his team a line change. Save made there by Austin Miller. And up ice, Detroit. Played deep by Kalorek. 2 Millers on the roster for Detroit, by the way, not related to Drew Miller, who we showed you was a member of that the 1994 Detroit champions here at the Brick.
I believe it's former NHLer Kyle Millers.
That's right. And a trip here is going to result in a penalty against the Wings. Off to the box goes Russell Kilunen.
And there you see the penalty there, just gets his stick caught up into the feet of the Bulldogs offensive man at the time, picking up that puck in the neutral zone. So Kalunin will now go to the box for 2 or less. And did we confirm it was not a power play goal?
It was not.
It was not. So they are 0 for 1, and they're looking for their first one here on their second chance.
3 for 14 for the tournament, but did score right after, as that's blocked to the corner by Hartlieb. Good read there, and intercepted by Pusateri. He'll clear it just past Chen. Power play brought to you by Westland Insurance. Score big on your home insurance with Westland Insurance. Sent ahead now for Bucci, and Pusateri read that play well and will clear it the length of the ice.
Again, we talked about number 49. He doesn't just do it on offense. I mean, he's so good when he has the puck, but even away from the puck, there you see a nice track, stick lift, and he's able to clear on the PK.
Wings at center now, Denton. Nice little spin move in and shot wide of the Bulldog goal. Chen picks that up, tries a long pass. That's read and intercepted by Bondi, who comes in, shooting. Oh, that's off the blocker of St. Marie, and he had to readjust and catch it before it turned into trouble.
And Detroit doing a really good job here on the kill as they let that long bomb go. St. Marie kind of juggled it there momentarily, but was able to cover it up. And there, we're going to go a couple shifts back. That one rang off the iron there, and Detroit came oh so close to regaining the 1-goal lead.
That was the Beffrey shot.
And I would say that Kalunin has, or pardon me, not Kalunin, Kolarek has been arguably Detroit's best forward other than maybe number 49. And Bondi continues to impress, wearing number 11, who's out there now on the kill.
Now the Bulldogs get the puck into Red Wing territory, but can't get puck control. Chance to clear, and sent up into the neutral zone. Marie's on it. 30 seconds left on this Bulldog power play. Marie turns it over. They can't get it back. Dumped in deep by Beffrey, and tracked there by Liam McGillis, who's got the Bulldog goal.
Great job by the Bulldogs again, utilizing the double swing, and then Lee reading the angled pressure from Detroit on the forecheck, zips it out wide, and now they gain entry.
Only 4 seconds left on the power play, though. Beffrey comes up with it. Chance to clear. He'll fire it all the way to the Toronto line. We're back to 5-on-5. Bulldogs 0 for 2 on their power play, although did score right at the end of the first one. Only 1 shot on net that time and not much zone time. A successful kill for the Red Wings as Oni skates that in. Tries a long shot, blocked by Roque. He'll steer it behind the net. Evertson moves it just out, and it's dumped right back in for the junior Red Wings by Hartlieb.
That's a name you haven't said too much so far in this first period.
Here's Eisen, cuts in and shoots, and a save made by Austin Miller. He'll hang on to that one as we enter the final minute of this first period in a 1-1 game.
The Bulldogs, they're sticking right with the Wings right now, kind of like we saw in that round-robin game on day 5. I mean, it was 1-1 halfway through the second period, and then Detroit was able to get a couple late markers to go up 3-1 before the end of the second period. And then they ended up cruising to a 4-1 win with an empty netter, but Toronto is staying with the Wings so far, and that's got to be a confidence builder for them.
I know the coaches for both teams mentioned that game not really being a shining example of what they could do against each other. Is that shot by Riley is caught by Miller. Again, I harken back to those games in the tournament in Pittsburgh, 6-5, 5-4 nail biters. That'd be fun if we got one of those.
I was just going to say, I wonder if we're going to have that many goals today, too. You can already see the fire and the passion out of Jimmy Howard, and obviously the Lamakias. Maybe not quite as animated, but they're definitely coaching on the bench, and they're into it. But you can't help, be these coaches and be pulling for your team to try and win this Brick Championship.
Lamakia is, of course, an institution here. This is Jimmy Howard's first year coaching at the Brick. But he says it's all about the players anyway, as Pusateri's got it. Pass that off. Hartlieb a shot, and a good right pad save by St. Marie. Maybe his best of the period.
It's point blanker, and again, look at the vision. And I was just saying, you haven't had to say Hartlieb's name too much. There he sneaks in from the right point, gets noticeable. gets that scoring chance for the Wings.
And that'll do it for the first period. As we said, power play, special teams are going to be a key factor. That's exactly what they were in that first period, as the Red Wings get a power play goal from Christian Kaloric, and a response from the Bulldogs as their first power play responded. Liam McGillis getting it off a Detroit glove. 1-1 game after one. The championship game at the 2024 Brick Invitational from the Ice Palace in the West Edmonton Mall on HN Live.
It's a glimpse into the future, and that future is NHL stars.
Lafreniere works in, shoots, scores! What a goal by Alexis Lafreniere! Youthful exuberance and bright futures
The entire time, so thanks to Sean for correcting me, but the shot from McGillis was knocked down by Denton's glove and then changed direction on Miller, but both teams skated to a pretty even first period. I mean, Detroit has a slight edge at 9-5 on the shot clock, but really it felt like both teams were right there, and it's, I guess basically what we came to expect out of these two teams in this championship game.
Hear a loud Bulldogs chant coming from the Toronto fans. It's as packed in here as it's been all week. It's a sellout in both levels. Now, they don't pay to get here, but I call it a sellout. They're packed a couple of rows back in both the upper and lower sections of the Ice Palace, including some of the other teams that are here watching. I can spot the Pennsylvania and Minnesota teams up there. I think I saw Connecticut as well. So, the teams are here. They're going to parade on the ice after. The atmosphere is great. And the 9 and 10-year-olds playing a game like this, I'm not sure I've ever experienced anything quite like this atmosphere before in their lives.
Sold out barn? Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing like playing in front of this many people, and every year this is what makes it even more special is Championship Sunday. And again, I've been here for 15 years. Every Sunday it's jammed, whether it's lower bowl, upper bowl, probably 2-3 rows deep, people and trying to see around heads. And I mean, you commented on how all the teams are here supporting these two teams playing in the final, whether, like you said, every team wants to win the tournament, but
absolutely,
only one can do it and two can make the final. And you see all the jerseys around the rink, and all those jerseys are gonna be swapped after this game is completed with the traditional jersey swap. And sometimes you ask kids, and I'm sure Grayson's gonna be talking to a handful on the ice when it comes that time, but it's kind of the coolest and most unique time, because where else do you get to do that after you finish a tournament? And whether they're 9 or 10 or, older, I mean, you just don't get those opportunities to kind of meet different guys and different players. And in this case, there's a few females in the tournament, so very, very unique.
Teams come to center ice. We're ready for the second period, and we're off. Lee winning the draw against Kaloric, as the Wings then dump the puck to the Toronto line. Again, the Bulldogs in the yellow and blue. The Junior Red Wings in the red and white. 1-1 game. The shots were 9-5 in Detroit's favor in the opening 15 minutes. 3 15-minute periods. Full floods between all of them, and a chance for the Wings. Is it in? They score!
And it looks like it was Cesar that ended up putting that home, and Cesar is almost resemblant of Jonathan Lee of the Toronto Bulldogs. Big frame, wearing number 97 out there for the Wings. And off this play again, we mentioned who's been Detroit's best player so far. I would say it's been Kalaric. And Cesar was able to put home and jam away at that rebound, which just crossed the goal line. And boy, Corey was talking about having an overhead camera for this tournament, and boy, that's where it would have came in handy there. As did it cross the line? We'll hopefully have a slow-mo of that replay on the next stoppage. But Detroit early lead here to start the second. We're not even 40 seconds in, and they now have regained the 1-goal lead.
Just jamming that puck into the front of the net. Cesar getting the goal for the Red Wings as that puck deflects out of play off the stick of St. Marie. What a start to the second period for the Wings. Here's another look at it.
And does it cross the line? Oh, boy, that is close. I don't know. We might have had to send that to video review in Toronto. Ewan, can we get some status there? Can you make a phone call?
I don't know if they'd pick Toronto in this case.
Yeah, I guess Toronto would be biased, wouldn't it? We'll have to go to Edmonton for that one. My apologies, Bulldog fans. Not funny when it's Detroit scoring the goal, but
here's Galoric, who's had a great start to this game. Takes the puck and it rolls on and covered up by St. Marie. Let's have another look here.
So you be the judge at home. Obviously, Detroit fans are going to say, yeah, that crossed the line for sure. If you're a Bulldog fan, what do you think?
Boy. Oh, boy. Now, I will say, we have the benefit of slowing it down. The officials on the ice have to deal with the speed of the game. But that's awfully close and would be a tough call either way.
Unfortunately, we don't have the video replay for the officials in the penalty box on the iPad. So,
even then, I don't know if I don't think you could overturn it.
It would have been inconclusive for sure. Yeah. 100% agree.
Hartlieb shooting, and the puck deflects behind the net. Here's Hartlieb steering that behind the goal. Comes up the wall and deflected out to the neutral zone. Dumped right back into Toronto territory. Bulldogs have come back from down 1-0 once in this game already, and they do it again. This is a team that knows how to come from behind. They scored 4 times in the third period against Connecticut in the round robin, including a goal at the buzzer to win that game 7-6. So they can come from behind. They've shown the ability to do it.
And they were down 5-1 in that game, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Lamas skates it in for the Bulldogs. Stopped in the corner. Comes back to the line. Eisen. Nice little move by Eisen. Gets to his forehand and shot stopped by Austin Miller.
Miller hasn't been tested a ton. That's only a 6th shot on goal so far through 18 minutes now as the clock hits 12 minutes even in this second period.
Pusateri tried to get that to the net. Was blocked. And up for Lee. Lee makes a move into the zone. Bondi tried to stay with him. Good stick by Bondi, followed up by Rocco. Rocco will send it out front. Scored! Jonathan Lee! Great deflection upstairs. We're tied back up again. 2-2.
There's a reason why Jonathan Lee was on the spotlight in our pregame show, and you can see why, because Roku worked it towards the goal.
Look at this, he's being lifted up.
Oh my, I don't think we've ever seen that at the brick tourney here. And like I was mentioning, you can see why the big frame, the big unit at the paint, it was kind of a loose puck in which he just kind of
watch this,
swiped at it.
Hauled up. I have to think that's his father. Lifted him up into the seats for a congratulatory hug.
I get it if it's the OT winner or maybe the game or whatever, but we're 2-2 with a lot of time left. I know everybody's excited, but boy, oh boy, there you see Lee take the swipe at it as he kind of had to win the stick battle against Bondi at net front and is able to chip that over top of Miller to even things up at 2.
I got to give credit to Mr. Lee, assuming it is Mr. Lee. That takes some strength. That's not a small young man. Just curl him up into the stands.
Must have been doing some bicep curls before the game. Hit the gym.
Battle for the puck in the corner. Played back up to the neutral zone. There's Pearson slowed up by Cooper Miller. And the Wings are back with it. McGillis with a poke check at the line. Here's Denton, though, shooting. Didn't get through. McGillis banks that behind the net. Move to center. And backhanded ahead once more by Bondi. Pusateri trying to get to it, and a good stick on him by McGillis. Play whistle dead here on an offside, I think, and we'll get a neutral zone draw.
We're just going to review the 2 goals here in the second period. There is Kolarek taking it to the net. Big number 97, Cesar, jams it home, and then very similar on this goal, Lee jamming it in as he was able to backhand that over Miller. And the last official goal was Lee from Roque and Pearson. And we're all tied at 2 here in the second.
Nice hands there by Lee around the net. And as the games have gotten bigger, Lee's presence has been bigger. Here's Kolarek again. Tried to center that, got upended in the corner by Chen. Here come the Bulldogs. Bucci into the corner. Checked there by Oni. Up the wall, Mashinter. Keeps it in. Abramides back to Chen. Muskie shooting, blocked in front. Bucci trying to fight for it with Kolarek. Ends up behind the net, Oni's there. Threw it out front, almost a giveaway. Wings trying to cover up on that play. Muskie keeps it in another time. Bucci centering it. Score! Rex Mashinter! 3-2 Bulldogs!
The Bulldogs are, I wouldn't say surprising everyone, but how about the response? They tie it up off Jonathan Lee's stick, and then Mashinter takes a page out of number 17's book. He's wearing number 71. He goes to the front of the net and then gets rewarded with a gift. She was all wrapped up for him nicely as it came over to him, and the left-handed shot shovels it into the empty cage. 3-2 Toronto.
Mashinter with his 4th of the 2024 Brick Invitational. You mentioned the response from the Bulldogs. Give up a goal in the early going here in the second period and respond very quickly with 2 of their own, and they've got their first lead. How will Detroit deal with a little bit of adversity here? Pusateri has the puck, tried to slide it back out front, now shooting, that's blocked. Pusateri back to the line, Bondi into Pusateri's feet, and that's cleared. And Bondi will chase it down. These teams met in the final of a Pittsburgh tournament, won in overtime by the Red Wings. In 3 games, the Bulldogs haven't beat Toronto yet, or haven't beat Detroit yet. Looking to get that gorilla off their back.
Got to give credit to the Lamakia boys here. They've got the boys buzzing right now. They look confident, and they are on top of Detroit right now, moving the puck crisply.
Puck's in the corner now, and played behind the net. This is a different game too than what we've seen all week. It was 12-minute periods with a quick intermission between the first and second, then a 15-minute third. As this is centered and deflects back to the line. Marie keeps it in. This game, 3 15-minute periods with full intermissions. One thing when talking to the Bulldogs coaching staff, they mentioned the depth they have, and maybe that'll favor them in a longer game as the Red Wings come in offside.
I don't disagree, because again, we talked about Detroit only having 8 and 5 in their lineup. And here's that last goal for the Bulldogs, Mashinter. Johnny on the spot, right place, right time, and then that last chance from Pusateri where he let the bad angle shot go from the bottom of the circle, and Nice shot by St. Marie standing tall, but the Bulldogs' goal was Mashinter from Bucci and Abramides. So Abramides and Bucci, both a couple helpers on the afternoon so far.
What an atmosphere inside the Ice Palace at the West Edmonton Mall. Louder than it's been all week, and it's been a great atmosphere all week. And we've got a great game so far. 7 minutes to go in period 2, and a penalty coming to the Bulldogs as Bucci shrugged his shoulders, sagged his shoulders, and realized that deadly Red Wing power play is getting a chance to go to work here.
And again, I would say probably, I don't know, give it a 90-10 split. 90% of the penalties in this tournament are stick infractions, and probably the other 10% are body contact calls. But the majority we see are all stick infractions, and there's another tripping penalty to the Bulldogs there, and now it's Detroit's second chance on the man advantage, in which they are 1-for-1 so far.
Power play brought to you by Westland Insurance. Coverage that goes further. Wings work it down low to Pusateri on the wall. Back to the line, Hartlieb shooting, and a glove save by Griffin St. Marie.
Detroit, they're so well structured on their power play, and Hartlieb took what Toronto was giving them, and they decided to give up the long shot from the point as Pusateri was trying to get away from number 42, which was Lamas. And then the long shot from Hartlieb as he walked in. A nice job by St. Marie to initially fight through the screen, but then everybody got out of his way. And that was to the benefit of number 52 in the pipes. As we'll see if Detroit, we saw them in a similar situation yesterday, down at the time 2-1 to Boston, and then their power play clicked in the late in that second period. So we'll see if they're able to even things up here at 3. And if the goals keep coming, we might have a shootout on our hands here.
A little bit of a delay. The officials chatting with the coaches. Not sure what the delay relates to.
Might not have, maybe the clock didn't start on time, or maybe some extra time ran off.
It's just a clock issue. They stopped it early. They're trying to correct it. Face-off won by the Wings. Hartlieb holds it in. Sends it deep. Deflects back to Bondy. Closing in, Bondy scored a great one-timer against Boston yesterday. Set up by Pusateri. Hartlieb. Bondy back across the front. Looking for Kaloric, and Chen does a good job getting in the way. Lamas has the puck, and he'll skate with it shorthanded. Nice rush by Lamas. Riley going to the net, and the centering feed intercepted by Bondy. Kaloric's away up the middle for Pusateri. Cuts to the slot, tries a shot. That's blocked. Kicked at by Lamas to the wall. He's upended by Kaloric. Back to Bondy. Bondy, Pusateri, a one-timer that missed. Heft in by Bondy, and now cleared the length of the ice for the Bulldogs by Evertson with 30 seconds left in the Bucci penalty.
Good zone time for the Wings there as they spread it around, and they were looking for their man Pusateri there at the left, top of the circle area, and he let that clapper go wide.
In comes Pusateri, centers, puck's loose, Wings knock it home, but after the whistle.
And they think they've scored, and it would be Kaloric again.
It's already waved off. Kaloric celebrating like he scored.
And you're gonna see it here.
Banged in by Kaloric. You can hear the whistle first.
Now the only thing I'd say there is it definitely wasn't frozen. And Sanjeev Bagrath, AJHL referee, can't really see it from that angle. It looked like from here the puck was still loose on the pad of St. Marie, but yeah, you can see Jimmy Howard's not happy again. And we'll see if they're able to regroup with 14 seconds left here on the power play.
Now, the hockey gods give and take away. It may not have been a goal earlier in the period.
That's a good point, actually. Great reference there.
As that puck's put out of play.
And again, that one wasn't confirmed nor denied on whether that crossed the line, but we're guessing at this point. But you're exactly right, though. So maybe it's saying that one didn't cross the line, and they kind of take it back with this one. But Terry again, just so dangerous coming in off the rush, and use that edge work to kind of elude the first man, and then center that one towards the paint. And for Kolarek, just couldn't get the break there. And do we have another penalty coming?
We do. The stick knocked out of the hands of a Detroit forward, Terry, I believe, by Lee. And so back-to-back power play opportunities for the Red Wings. Bulldogs playing with fire here a little bit as we see the penalty here against Lee. It was actually Howard he knocked the stick out of the hands of.
So it'll be Lee sitting for 2 or less for the Bulldogs.
Power play again brought to you by Westland Insurance. Auto insurance that goes the extra mile. Westland Insurance coverage that goes further. Oh, a turnover! Scores!
Oh my goodness. Did anybody see what happened on that? Because the Bulldogs actually tried to clear that puck and hit the back of their forward's head and then bounced right to Kolarek. And you're gonna see it here, right here. So they win the draw, they do everything right, and then right here, Chen's gonna doink it right off the back of Eisen's head, and it goes right to Kolarek.
Oh.
And what a fortunate bounce for Detroit, and then he goes far down. What a zipper.
What a shot by Christian Kolarek, who thought he had scored moments ago. Again, the hockey gods give, and they take away,
I was waiting
and
for
they
you.
give again.
To say it. Unbelievable.
A huge break this time for Kolarek as the clearing attempt hits off Eisen and bounced right to him. So he felt maybe he was robbed of a goal. Well, given the opportunity to get one, and he just ripped it. What a game he's having. 2 goals, an assist, had one that went in that was whistled early. He's absolutely lighting up this championship game, and it's tied at 3.
I mean, we spotlighted Terry, but Kolarek could have been right there with him. And he's taken over this game so far for Detroit.
At the line, Chen. Couldn't get a shot through. Evertson got it back to him. Chen wide of the net.
What a game so far, though. It continues to get better and better here.
Evertson threw it towards the goal. Deflects. Mashintru, who had a big goal for the Bulldogs earlier, gets it back to Evertson. Over to Chen. Wrist shot. Rebound! Off the side of the goal for Bucci. He had an open cage there. Back to Chen. Chen for Bucci. Nice move. Shooting it through the crease and wide.
Good response here from Toronto after the goal. They're pushing.
Avramidis bumped by Pusateri. Only has it in the corner. Sends it up the wall. It got onto the edge of the boards here. Picked up by Bucci. Howard can't come up with it. Now skated by Hartlieb. He's going to try and relieve the pressure. Great job by Hartlieb, just grabbing that puck and skating it out of trouble, but he may have taken a penalty here. As Hartlieb made a great play to get them out of trouble in their own zone, but I think, did he get caught for a hook, or is it just offside? Just
Looks
offside.
like it's just offside. We're going to see that last chance. Nice job by the Bulldogs, spreading it out east-west, D to D. At the line, they let the shot go. I believe it was off the stick of Chen. And then Bucci has the rebound on his stick and backhand right off the side of the goal, or the side of the mesh, if you will. And Toronto, oh so close to making it 4-3.
Eisen back in, quick, centered it, poked on goal by Wamas. Eisen stopped by Miller, and Austin Miller hangs on.
Now, I'm not playing the pipes right now for Detroit, but Miller, he's making it interesting back there. I would have covered up this one right here. right there. I would have just jumped on that, but he poked it back out, and luckily for him, the Bulldogs not able to capitalize on the second attempt. And on the second attempt, he decides, yeah, I better maybe slow things down here and jump on it.
Draw one by the Red Wings, who've been under pressure ever since they tied the game on their power play. Eisen checking down Cooper Miller. Held in by Marie, but now cleared. Denton. As Kaloric tried to hold the line, Denton took his time entering the zone, and Eisen stole it back here for the Bulldogs to Riley. He goes wide. Riley over for Roque, who got knocked down and back up. Sends it behind the net. We got a couple of collisions. It's been a physical game on the wall.
Team's playing heavy out here. They want to win the title.
Kaloric skates it in. Pass that off to Beffrey, who hit a post back in the first. 2:15 left to go. We've got a couple more good conversations to come in the second intermission. Stay with us after the break. Grayson Knutson. We'll talk to Lauren Stiles and Craig Stiles as the puck comes to the wall for the Wings. Cycle game to Bondi. Pusateri trying to get it towards the net. Lee intercepts that. Played out off Kenny's stick. Oh, and a collision between Pearson and Hartlieb. They both went down. Dumped in by the Bulldogs onside, and Lee will chase after it against Bondi, who moves it to Pusateri. Back checking. Up the wall to Lorick. Chen tried to hold it in. Kenny follows up. Good job by Kenny backing up Chen. Moved it up to Lee. Lee cuts to the slot. Oh, he hit the goalpost! Miller lost that one with the screen, and it goes off the crossbar.
Well, that would have been a dagger with a minute left.
Down the stretch we come. Second period. Beffrey for Detroit. Up. Cesar skates it in. He had a big goal early in this period.
Both teams, it's details now in the last minute here. Nobody wants to give up one late. We've seen how critical those goals have been, not only in the playoff round, but throughout the round robin as well.
Toronto was an example of that yesterday, scoring 2 last-minute goals in their win in the quarterfinal against Minnesota, and then a key one against Toronto Pro Hockey to make it 1-0 late second period. As Pusateri's got it. Moved up to Hartlieb. Cuts in with 14 seconds left. Centers it off McGillis's stick. Worked back to the line. And a shot by Oni. Deflects behind the net. 4 seconds left. Kept to the outside by Evertson. And they'll hit the buzzer. A 1-1 game after 1. A 3-3 game after 2. Big momentum swings as Lee almost put the Bulldogs back ahead late in this period.
Oh, wow, it looks like that chance went off the Detroit defenseman and then off the helmet of Miller.
We'll come back. Grayson Knutson chatting with Craig Stiles and Lauren Stiles from the Brick Tournament in our second intermission. 3-3 game after 2. The 2022 Brick Invitational Championship on HN Live.
Canada wins gold at the Blake Gretzky Cup. Tournament salutes 2 of the greats of the game.
It's a glimpse into the future, and that future is NHL stars.
And grabbed by Avramedes, clearing the zone for a 3-on-2. Bucci busts in! Blocker save made by Austin Miller.
What a stop for Miller in this first minute and 15. That might be the save that gets Detroit the lead here. We'll see if it's one save in one end and back the other way goes Detroit in the other end.
Pusateri to the line. Oni shoots, and St. Marie keeps that one out. And a face-off coming inside Bulldog territory.
So what a rush by number 94 in yellow. Takes it down the right side, right-handed shot. It looked like Miller was baiting him to go blocker. As you can see, Miller's almost overplaying the glove side. But the good thing for number 1 in the pipes there is that he challenged at the top of the blue paint, came out, cut down the angle, and made a terrific stop early in this third period, in which, you know, we might look back on and say that was a massive save.
Puck sent the length of the ice onto the Red Wing goal. Played there by Austin Miller to the corner. At the line, Muskie shooting. Redirected by Avramides and shot wide. Bucci moves that back behind the net. Grabbed by Beffrey and cleared. Cesar, who scored a big goal early in the second period, skates that one in, can't get a shot off. Bucci goes cross ice. Avramides cuts wide, and his shot stopped and held by Miller for a face-off in Red Wing territory.
Oh, we're hearing, these are all rumors, Bet365 has both these teams at -125 going into this third period. But the over-under, I would say, is at least a goal scored on each side. And we might have overtime if I'm predicting. But again, these are just the odds. We're not the odds makers. 12:42 to go, and Miller with another good stop. As from our view, it looked like that puck might have went between his legs, but he was able to hang on.
Draw one by Toronto. Point shot by Evertson. Pusateri gets in the way. Looks like the Bulldogs want that McGillis-Evertson pair against Pusateri. Bulldogs won home ice in a coin flip at the beach party last night as McGillis rushed up ice and got stopped there by Bondi, and a shot from the point by Wamas, blockered away by Miller. That's the tradition here at the Brick, because it doesn't matter who gets the final, they determine home ice advantage based on the coin flip, whether it's two different conferences or not. And a point shot, diving block, attempt by Riley. Evertson gets in the way. That's cleared out. Away now. Wamas in, trying a backhand shot, can't get it through. You can actually see the coin flip that determined home ice advantage on the Brick social media, as that point shot caught and held by Austin Miller.
And I think we're gonna try to highlight number 97 in yellow, and here he goes. He's got a goal on the contest. He tried to toe drag and pull that one in. He was a righty coming down the right side trying to pull that in towards his body, but couldn't get the shot through. But he's had a terrific tournament, a goal and 5 assists for 6 points, and he's led the way on the back end. And you were mentioning him and
Evertson.
And Evertson, yeah, playing the back end as a pair and shutting down number 49 up front for Detroit.
Pusateri does have an assist in this game, but held off the score sheet goal-wise. It's been Christian Kaloric leading the way offensively for the Junior Red Wings so far, with his 2 goals and an assist.
And just when you think you shut down one of their top guns, the other one shows up. And again, I know I'm a big Oiler fan, but it's like shutting down McDavid and then having Draisaitl pick up the rest of the scoring for him.
They'd maybe compare it to having
Stevie
Datsuk
Y
and Zetterberg, or yeah.
It depends how far you want to go back
Yeah.
in our generation, I guess. Datsuk Zetterberg would be more current.
Lee moves that and cleared out by Kenny. Back in his own zone, Bondi for Paquette as Toronto's changing. Paquette centers, Beffrey, Kaloric can't get a shot through, blocked by the back of the skate. Oh, Finn Muskie. Away now, Bucci centers it. Doesn't quite get to Chen, who was pinching in.
I don't know what Bucci had between periods, but he's been flying to start this third period for Toronto.
Couple of assists coming into it as well. He's had a good game. Muskie at the line. Shooting. Oh, that was a tough save for Miller with a screen in front from Avramides. This has maybe been the best line for the Bulldogs in this game. Bucci, Avramedes, along with Mashinter. As Mashinter sets it up out front. And down goes Chen, who again pinched in. He falls. That leaves the Bulldogs without a defender on the back check. And broken up by Muskie to Mashinter. Here comes Caloric as the Bulldogs were trying to change. Good play defensively to break that up by Wamas. And Eisen's ahead. Centers! Riley! Stopped by the left pad of Austin Miller. McGillis a point shot. Blocked. Wings overskated. Eisen has it. Riley going to the net. And a great defensive play by Scadamburlo to break up that scoring chance as it's dumped down the ice into the corner of the Bulldog zone. McGillis for Riley. Scored a huge goal yesterday against Toronto Pro Hockey. In comes Wamas, trying to drive the net. And a good play by Denton, back checking there. Cleared it out. Dumped down the ice into Bulldog territory. Evertson. McGillis goes high with it. Kenny couldn't get a stick on that. And it'll be icing against the Bulldogs with 8:24 to go in regulation.
Yeah, so we're going to show you 3 quick clips here. I love how Chen activates through the middle lane as a defenseman. They always kind of give you a number format, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a point blanker from Riley driving through the middle lane. Low wrister from the left-handed shot. Miller kicks it away, and then Scadamburlo with a good stick on puck to eliminate that last chance for the Bulldogs. But bang, 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 here we go on the clips. Great job by our crew to bring you that.
Point shot. Detroit's Oni was blocked. Beffrey. Cesar deflects back up the wall and started ahead down the left wing side by Pearson. Rolled that wide of the net. Kenny tried to center it. Kenny's another one you have to really watch for. Rourke keeps it in. Kenny with 15 points in the tournament as that hops over the stick of Marie and back to the Bulldog zone. Kenny deflects it, not deep into Red Wing territory, but goes after it on the wall for Lee. Behind the net, Hartley, pressured by Lee, tries to clear, held in by Marie, shot blocked. Deflects though to Pearson for Lee, wrist shot, going wide, but Austin Miller is not leaving anything to chance. Makes the glove save and hangs on.
And Toronto has had success. You see it every year with their teams, and they're well coached, but they love using the low to high and getting pucks back to the point. And on that one, like you said, the shot was going wide, but Miller, again, aggressive, coming out of the paint, making sure that nothing pops off the back wall. And he slows things down for Detroit with 7:20 to go. Shots now almost even at 18-17 Detroit. The shots at one point were 12-5 for the Wings. So since that time, the shots favor the Bulldogs 15-6. And that's why we're all even at 3.
Bulldogs have the momentum on their side, but that can change so quick in this sport as Busateri skates it in for the Wings and lost the handle out to the neutral zone.
And again, watch those blue lines here. There's not much time left. You don't want a turnover at either the offensive or defensive line.
Howard dumps that to the corner. Ilunen in there on it as well. Bucci back checking, tried to clear. Bondi holds it in. Got that across to Hartley. Steered down low. Intercepted by Chen. Pusateri trying to come up with it. And then cleared ahead and out for Mashinter. Back at his own line, Hartley turned it over to Avramedes. Couldn't get it deep. 5 players in on it. Puck battle right next to the Red Wing bench. Down to 6:20 left in regulation. In some skates, Bucci has it for Avramedes. He'll take that in, right wing side. Drives to the corner. Wrapping around the net, Bucci ran out of real estate. Kept in though for the Bulldogs by Riley. Bondi was down, still played the puck, and it's cleared out by Pusateri for a line change.
I think Detroit fans wanted a penalty call there. I think the stripes, I'm guessing, but I would think the only calls now are going to be a definite scoring chance.
Oni left it there for Kaloric. Now cleared out. Here's Beffrey. Stripped by Wamas. Good stick there. And Bondi dumps it back down into Bulldog territory for an icing call against the Wings with 5 minutes, 28 seconds left in the third period.
And I guess the message would be from both these clubs, like I mentioned, make sure you're aware of the blue lines, make sure you're getting pucks deep, you're not dangling, you're not maybe overextending a play that you shouldn't, and that you're managing pucks, because with 5:28 to go, it's all about, like I mentioned, the details, and both these teams have to be aware of it late in this third period.
Puck behind the Red Wing net. Bulldogs trying to force it out to the slot. Eisen battling Bondi. Stepping up from the point. There was Marie. Sends it around behind the net. Roque keeps it in. Clearing attempt now. And Cesar moves it out and down the ice for the Wings. Another icing call against Detroit. And here's where you wonder, we talked about Bulldog depth having a factor in this game when they have more players, more depth, longer game. Does it start to play in now?
I think it might, especially if it gets to overtime. I mean, Detroit only has 8 and 5, right? So, I mean, the Lamakias were talking about their depth and how they have maybe a few extra bodies on their bench. And we'll see if Detroit can find a way and keep the shifts short here.
Pusateri moves that up. Kilunen into the zone. Nice stick handling and threw it around behind the net. It's been a more tentative period. I think aware on both sides how much the next goal matters. Evertson. Pearson clears that up. In comes Lee. He'll slide it down. Oni's there. Put it up the wall. Pusateri. Nice move. Another nice move. Got stopped at the offensive blue line. Oni goes across. Hartlieb. Up off of Kilunen. And turned over to Evertson. Ahead for Kenny. The skilled Kenny down the right side. Wrist shot. And a save made by Austin Miller with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left in regulation. 3-3 game.
We'll get a look at that last rush from the Bulldogs as Kenny, the leading goal scorer. Again, we haven't mentioned his name a ton today, but there's a shot from the right side that is easily caught and held in the logo of Miller. And both goalies going to have to control their rebounds now.
Avramedes, Verbucci, behind the net, Mashinter has a goal today. Wraparound try, puck in the crease. Now whistle dead. And another face-off in Red Wing territory.
And typically, when you get to this late stage of the game, nice job by Mashinter banking that off the back of the net to himself. And then they try to jam it to the paint area where Miller was down with the paddle and hangs on. But typically it's a greasy one when it gets down to these stages of the game. And we'll see if that's the case or if it's going to be a highlight reel goal to win this thing. Got to think next goal wins here.
Bulldogs after it in the corner. Played back to the line for Muskie. He keeps that in. Now sent across the neutral zone and dumped back into Red Wing territory. Howard. Kaloric in with it. Pass across the middle to Hartlieb. Kaloric centers. Score! A hat-trick goal for Christian Kaloric. 4-3 Red Wings lead with 3 minutes to go at the 2024 Brick Invitational.
And if you wanted a game changer, it is number 42 in red and white, Christian Kolarek. And again, I think the intended target was the backdoor man, Beffrey, but instead his centering pass ends up going off a stick at net front and redirecting past St. Marie. And we kind of said it was going to be a greasy one, maybe not a highlight reel goal, but maybe just a heads-up play by the youngster in red and white, wearing number 42, and that's his 4th point of the game. Hat-trick goal for Kolarek. Or Kolarek, pardon me.
Christian Kolarek, 3 goals and an assist. You need your best players to step up in big games. Boy, has he done it for the Junior Red Wings. Still time here for the Bulldogs. They need an answer as that one went in off a Bulldog defender. A break for the Red Wings on the centering feed. Do the Bulldogs have an answer? Bulldog crowd wanted a penalty there as Pusateri took McGillis down. McGillis plays it behind the net. Fed up to the neutral zone. In comes Wamas. Stopped at the line by Bondi. Here's McGillis. Turned over to Pusateri. And he's stopped at the Bulldog line. Gets it back. Makes a move. Pusateri trying to put some icing on it here. Skates around behind the net. Still has it on his stick. All the way back to the Toronto line. Trying to open something up. Backhand shot. Missed the net as St. Marie was sprawled out. That killed off some key time though. Stolen again by Pusateri. Tried to go to the net. And the shot attempt by Paquette deflects out of play as Pusateri kills off about 40 seconds with the puck on his stick.
We're down to 1:44 left. The time's ticking if you're a Bulldog fan. Tough goal against, obviously, for the Bulldogs. And like you mentioned there, Sean, I mean, Pusateri just doing everything he can to just manage the pucks, manage the clock in the process. And they are 1:44 away. Watch for the Bulldogs' tendy to get pulled here late.
As Bucci sends that one out, but they can't get possession. Bondi moves it up. Cesar, Kolarek, Roque sends it behind the net. There's Chen. Chen goes cross ice out to Kenny. Will St. Marie head to the bench? Kenny's in, centers it. Bucci knocked down, can't get a shot. St. Marie hasn't come to the bench yet. Puck behind the net. Hartley tries to clear. Roque holds it in. He's coming now. Goaltender being pulled just as the Wings get the puck. Cesar can't get it into Bulldog territory. Down the stretch we come. Final minute of the third. Lee's in, shooting, glove save from Austin Miller as he's hugged and almost knocked over by his teammates.
What frantic action here as we look at the go-ahead goal by the Wings again. Kolarek was looking for Beffrey on the back door, redirects in off an errant stick. And with 48.1, we're gonna have a timeout call. I would assume it was called by the Bulldogs. But Detroit's bench not only going nuts over that goal, but like you just said, they were giving Miller big hugs on that glove save just before the stoppage here. And number 1 in the pipes is gonna have to fight through a ton of traffic here on the 6-on-5, sorry.
Sign right behind the Red Wings bench from one of their supporters saying, I believe you can do this. Trying to get that message through to the young men here with 48 seconds left to play.
And there you see the glove stop off Lee. And for the Bulldogs, obviously the key here is you gotta win the face-off. And if you don't, you gotta have bodies jumping quick. If it's a 50-50 scramble, you got to win inside body position. You got to win the race to kick that back to the point, and then you got to try and get into your structure. I mean, typically, and again, I know they're 9 and 10, but you want to run that high umbrella with, or even a 1-3-2 is what they call it, and have at least 2 players at net front. On the flip side, Detroit's got to be playing a box and 1, and they're going to just try to clog up shooting lanes, and now it comes down to blocking pellets if you're in red and white.
Well, the Bulldogs did score a goal in the round robin right at the buzzer. They know it can come down to that. As it's centered in the slot, Kenny, rebound chance, knocked away and cleared the length of the ice by the Junior Red Wings for an icing call. Boy, that's who you want to have the puck in the slot. Kenny in a great spot.
Yeah, what a chance there for the Bulldogs, as they did exactly what we were talking about. They lost the draw, but Lee jumped off the ozone draw, was able to get there first, and then he brought it around the net, centered it, and then Kenny with the slot shot. And Miller again, he was challenging, out to the top of the paint, made the save.
Off the draw, Wamis back to the line. Chen, McGillis gets it towards the slot. Bouncing puck just goes wide as Bucci was there. 20 seconds to go. Puck on the wall. They can't clear. McGillis held it in. Lee going after it against Hartlieb. Back up the wall. Kaloric can't clear. Chen shot. Stopped. Whistle dead as Miller gets on top of it with 6.4 seconds left on the clock.
And now if you're Detroit, do you use your timeout and allow Toronto to draw something up as they come so close there off the stick of Bucci? McGillis did a nice job getting the puck to the net. Miller kicked out the rebound, and boy, just so close there to tying things up.
Bucci directs Lee to the top of the circle, looking for a set play here on the draw. Face off one to Lee, gets it to the net and covered quickly by Austin Miller, down to 2.8 seconds left. And the Bulldogs want more time.
But if I was Toronto, I'd be lining up McGillis behind Kenny here. They don't need him back at the point with 2.8 left. They're not going to score from out there. And
draw win by the Wings, and for the first time in 30 years, the Brick Invitational is won by a team from Detroit. The Junior Red Wings are champions.
And look at the Selly. Got kids on the ice shirtless joining the bunch. But that just shows you how much it means to the red and white right now.
What a game. Right down to the wire. Christian Kaloric, the hero for the Junior Red Wings today with a hat trick, 4 points, bringing home the championship for a team that finishes this tournament unbeaten. What a run for them, but boy, did the Bulldogs give them everything today.
You gotta hold your heads up high if you're the Toronto Bulldogs. I mean, what an effort. They pushed Detroit as hard as they could. And I mean, like you said, what a week for the Red Wings. I mean, they go undefeated. They got unbelievable goaltending performances out of both their goalies, Mancari and Miller. And then obviously Kaloric stole the show on this day. And him and Pusateri teamed up front to be the best two forwards in the tournament, and then they possess the best defenseman in Jackson Hartlieb, who was not far behind those two forwards in total scoring.
What a celebration for the Junior Red Wings.
I don't think I've ever seen the crowd jump the glass here after a win. And let alone dancing on the ice right now.
I have to think, like, family members of the team out to celebrate. And right behind them in the stands were the players for Toronto Pro Hockey ready for the War for the Roses that start tomorrow.
Yeah, and they were, well, I'm sure they were cheering for Toronto regardless whether they're technically pro hockey or not.
I don't know. I wonder, is it like Edmonton, Calgary?
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. You'd hope they were at least cheering for the Bulldogs and maybe not Detroit, although Detroit's not that far away from the Ontario border. But
what a celebration. The teams shake hands and have some words. I mean, this is now the fifth game these teams have played, or fourth game the teams have played against each other this season. 3 of the 4 have come down to 1-goal games. Detroit's won all of them. So tough for the Bulldogs, but they know they're right there with maybe, well, now we can say the best team in the 9-10 age group in North America, the Detroit Red Wings. The Bulldogs are right there, just that close.
Yeah, and if you're the coaching staff, I mean, how do you not give each one of these kids a pat on the head, a pat on the back? I mean, they played extremely hard. And, you know, maybe deserved to get to overtime, but
We've got Grayson Knutson is on ice level here with Christian Kalorek. Grayson?
Christian, congratulations, first of all. What does this moment mean to you?
It means a lot. Our guys, we worked so hard to get here, and I'm just so happy.
Why is this so emotional for you?
Because I scored 3 goals, and the boys, we had a great game. Ozzy especially, our best goalie ever. So is Caden. It's just so amazing.
When you scored that 4th goal, your 3rd goal of the game, did it feel like that was it?
It did. I was like, oh, let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's defend it.
Awesome. Well, Christian, go line up on the blue line. We'll let you go. There you go. Christian Kalorek, what a game. Hat-trick hero here. Back to you guys in the booth.
Boy, you can feel that emotion, can't you?
Yeah, his voice sounded like mine throughout the week. He barely has anything left in the tank, but yeah, very emotional, and you can see what it means to this team in red and white.
All right, let's turn it over to the in-house for the presentations.
49, Kason Pusateri.
Pusateri, 3rd star today. Thought he had a pretty good game. No?
Absolutely.
Today's second star from the Toronto Bulldogs, number 94, Lincoln Bochy.
Couple of assists for Bucci today, and boy, he came close on a few occasions to getting that big goal in the 3rd period.
Yeah, he was buzzing all right. He definitely, like we said, I don't know what he had between periods, but he came out like a rocket.
And today's first star
He could have easily had the GWG today as well.
from the Detroit Junior Red Wings, number 42, Christian Kalorek.
What a game by Christian Kalorek. One for the record books. A hat trick, 4 points in the championship game. That's a moment that will live for him forever.
Yeah, you can't speak highly enough of that kid, and I just loved his interview with Grayson. I mean, not just because he got emotional, but just, you know, when he said, it's for all the boys, and we were just trying to pump them up and make sure we got this win, and you could see that, you know, they were playing for each other, they were playing for each other, but yeah, big win for Detroit City here.
Well, and you've been here a long time, Adam, 15 years. It's been a long time coming for Detroit.
30 years, we said, and really, this should count as their first title because, as Jimmy Howard said, it was technically Detroit Honeybaked that ended up winning the title in '94. So
Grayson is with winning goaltender Austin Miller.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Austin Miller here. Austin, you held the fort there in the 3rd period. They were pushing especially late. How did you see it from your end?
It was crazy. I tried to keep it us in. Team got it out and protected me, protected the game.
When Christian scored that goal to put you guys up 4-3, did you feel like that was it?
Yeah, I felt like it. I was just like, yes, let's go. Oh, shoot.
That's not good. We'll worry about that later. Austin, what does this win mean for you and your teammates?
A lot, because Detroit has not won a lot, and beating the Bulldogs